Welcome to the Gentle Ledger. Today is Monday, February 9th, 2026, and the market feels like returning to a conversation after tempers cooled. The same participants, but listening a little more carefully. Now let's turn softly to the U.S. indexes, where Wall Street moved gently upward after last week's volatility. The Dow Jones Industrial Average edged higher by just plus 0.04%, closing at 50,135.87, a fresh closing high that arrived almost quietly. The S&P 500 gained plus 0.47% to finish at 6,964.82. Drifting back toward record territory without urgency. The Nasdaq Composite rose a firmer plus 0.90% to 23,238.67, supported by renewed interest in software and technology shares. The Russell 2000 advanced plus 0.70% to 2,689.05, suggesting confidence returning not only to giants, but to smaller companies as well. The tone was constructive rather than excited, participation widening, but conviction still measured. Gently moving into the corporate highlights, the day's leadership came from a rebound in enterprise technology. Oracle surged plus 9.6% after an analyst upgrade and renewed optimism around AI-related demand. Software momentum followed. Microsoft rose about plus 3%, and Nvidia also gained roughly plus 3%, continuing to stabilize after last week's pullback. Retail and consumer names showed steadier strength. Kroger climbed plus 3.9% following executive news that reassured investors about strategy continuity. But the market still reminded participants that gains were selective. Kyndryl plunged minus 54.9% after delayed financial filings, one of the sharpest single-day declines of the season. Hims and Hers Health fell about minus 16% to minus 17% after legal pressure tied to weight loss drug competition, and Monday.com dropped more than minus 14% on weak guidance. The pattern was clear. Investors rewarded visibility and punished uncertainty. Overseas, in Asia and Europe, the mood carried across gently but with energy. Japan's Nikkei 225 surged roughly plus 3.9% to a record high, helped by political stability and stimulus expectations, while European markets also moved higher as technology fears eased and earnings regained focus. Global markets appeared synchronized not in direction alone, but in psychology, cautiously optimistic, but still attentive to risk. In commodities and bonds, the undercurrent leaned toward balance. Gold and silver prices rose modestly as investors maintained partial protection, while Treasury yields stayed relatively steady ahead of key inflation and employment data later in the week. Turning now to the newer corners of finance, in crypto land sentiment mirrored equities. Bitcoin traded just below $71,000, stabilizing after recent volatility. Rather than chasing momentum, digital assets tonight behaved less like speculation and more like sentiment, moving with the broader emotional tide. As the day settles into evening, let's rest in the reflective summary and outlook. Today's session was not about recovery alone. It was about trust returning slowly. The market didn't rush back to highs. It walked back step by step, verifying its footing. Tonight, let that steady pacing carry you into rest, attentive, balanced, and quietly grounded. Good night.